The swoosh and the phrase, "Just do it," are the iconic symbols of the mammoth activewear brand Nike. No matter where in the world you go, it would be near impossible to find a person who, unless they've been living under a rock, isn't an owner of their shoes or hasn't heard of the company. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Business Unmasked, where we unmask the stories behind interesting and successful companies. Hit the like button so more people can hear stories like these, and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Now let's get to the unmasking. The legacy of the brand is forever cemented in American history. But how many know the name Bill Bowerman and Blue Ribbon Sports? Or why a rusted, broken old waffle iron sits encased like a rare artifact in the Nike World headquarters? What about the one breakfast that led to an epiphany that brought about the creation of a shoe that will go down in sneaker history? Now, you may be wondering, Waffles and Nike? What have they got to do with each other? Well, as strange as it may seem, without this classic breakfast food, the Nike we know and love today may have never come to be. I guess breakfast really is the most important meal. It happened like this. Bill Bowerman and his partner, Phil Knight, a former student of his, were coming out of a distribution partnership with the Japanese shoe company Onitsuka Tiger, who they had been working with since 1964. Setting out on a new path, they decided to venture into manufacturing shoes for their company, Blue Ribbon Sports. But Bill knew he couldn't just enter the market with any old shoe. He needed something that would stand out, his very own signature innovation. Coincidentally, at the time, he received word from one of his runners at the University of Oregon that the traditional metal spikes on their running shoes weren't suitable for the new urethane running tracks that had just been installed. And it was finding a solution to this problem that gave Bill the breakthrough he needed. Bill began looking into an alternative for the spike that would work on any surface, be it grass, dirt, or urethane. He would even ask his wife to look through her jewelry to see if anything had a shape that could be used as an indent to make patterns on the soles. Bill was never opposed to finding inspiration in seemingly strange places. It was then, on a fine Sunday morning in late 1971, that Bill and his wife, Barbara, were enjoying breakfast together after deciding to skip church that week. Barbara began to make waffles on the waffle iron, an old wedding gift. And as she turned out a freshly made delicious waffle, it struck him. Bill realized that the square pattern it imprinted would work perfectly as an indent for the soles. It provided enough traction without tearing up the ground. And just like that, the idea behind the Nike waffle trainer was born. Crazy, right? This shoe is now ingrained in American history and is the reason Nike has grown to be a global corporation worth over $100 billion. Just recently, a pair of Nike waffle trainers from 1972 was sold for $475,500 to Miles Nadal, a Canadian entrepreneur, as a part of a collection of the 100 rarest sneakers ever made. That should give you a good idea of just how groundbreaking Bill's innovation was. Now, let's talk about Blue Ribbon Sports. Today, the name Nike is known and loved by many. Blue Ribbon Sports, however, won't ring a bell for most. But here's a fun fact. They're actually one and the same. The company was founded in 1964 by Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight, an ex-collegiate runner who he used to train. Their story goes way back to when Phil was a member of Bowerman's track team in the 1950s, when Bill was coming up with shoe modifications on his own. Phil was often used as a guinea pig for his creations. Though at the time, Phil believed he was chosen only because he wasn't the best runner. So any setbacks that testing the prototypes may cause wouldn't really put the team at risk. Phil may not have made significant contributions to Bill's track team, but it was he who brought an offer to the table that changed the course of Bill's life forever. After his graduation, Phil, during his travels to Japan, struck a deal to be a distributor in 13 US states for the shoe company Onitsuka Tiger. Initially, Phil only reached out to see if Bill wanted to buy. Bill, on the other hand, saw a great opportunity in the venture. He suggested a partnership to Phil, and within a week, the terms were agreed upon and Blue Ribbon Sports commenced business. Bowerman used the partnership as an incubator for his ideas and innovations. He even went to Japan to learn the Japanese way of shoemaking and established great relations with the owners of Onitsuka Tiger. The partnership gave way to the introduction of the Cortez, stable, comfortable, and stylish. The shoe was not only the first of its kind, but also dubbed the most popular long-distance training shoe in the United States. But the shoe that first bore the iconic swoosh was ironically called the Nike. Released in 1971, it was the first shoe manufactured by the company that was not associated with Onitsuka. Surprisingly, this shoe, which first introduced the popularized logo and name, did not do well in sales, and it was for that reason Bill felt driven to find a breakthrough that could solidify Blue Ribbon Sports' place in the industry: the Waffle Sole. As their distribution partnership ended, Blue Ribbon Sports would officially rebrand as Nike, Incorporated in 1971, and set out on the course that led the company to the heights it has reached today. Now, let's get to know the man behind the innovation. The inspiration behind the Waffle Sole is a great story for Nike's history. However, we can't simply brush over the fact that only someone with a brilliant mind could have looked at that waffle maker and seen the traction potential in it. We know Nike is undoubtedly a trailblazer in the field of sneakers and has now ventured beyond the realm of just sports, with many of today's youth proudly boasting the swoosh as they have branched out to clothes and accessories as well. But innovation doesn't happen overnight. If we go back in time before the conception of Blue Ribbon Sports to when Bill was a track and field coach, he, even at that point of time, was always looking for ways to improve shoes. Whether it was finding ways to make it lighter or more comfortable, Bill strived to transform athletic footwear. He would create prototypes and try them out on his runners without any company backing him. Bill wanted a better shoe, and when big manufacturers and footwear companies shut their doors to his suggestions, he simply decided to learn how to make shoes on his own. And his first ever shoe made was worn by Otis Davis as he crossed the finish line in the 1960 Olympic Games, winning the gold medal for the 400 meters race. For every roadblock he faced, Bill not only found a solution, but strived to find one that could revolutionize the industry. Those who don't know the story may look at Nike and see only a big corporation that has become a phenomenon not only in America, but all around the world. However, at its core, Nike is the physical manifestation of one man's tenacity to better footwear for the world. There is so much to uncover about the brands we use on a daily basis. So let us know in the comments what company you're interested in hearing about next. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. It does wonders for the YouTube algorithm, so more people can see our videos and so that you can be notified when we launch our next video. We try and put out at least one new one per week, and as you can imagine, the research and editing alone of these type of videos takes us close to 18 hours. So we would really appreciate it if you could also check out our Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can support our work. We produce over 12 videos per month, so that is literally 8 cents per video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at our next unmasking.